Hi, I'm Marietta. You may call me Mayette. I'm the Senior Managing Consultant of SOARZM Interdev. SOARZM Interdev is a SEC-registered action research, organizational, and community development training company. We specialize in action research-based development program and project incubation, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation for educational institutions, business corporations, people's organizations, and local communities. We engage with development stakeholders in building up their personal and social capital as transformational leaders for rural, urban, regional sustainable development. SOARZM Interdev has a pool of interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary expert practitioners in various fields of development and training. Our collaborating partner is the Philippine Association of Researchers and Statistical Software Users, or PARSU. We customize a TNA-based training program for our development stakeholders. SOARZM Interdev was contracted by the Arkham ES Cluster 8 to be the development project incubator and managing consultant of the MAPSA Arkham ES initiated Climate Change Awareness and Laudato Si Curriculum Integration Seminar Workshop. The multi-sectoral call for the integration of climate change awareness and mitigation in the basic education curriculum has gained momentum as families in rural and urban communities become victims of the devastating impact of culture's lash on their lives. Hurricanes, heavy rainfall, flood, landslides, drought, heat waves appear to be the new normal rhythm of nature in the 21st century. This is not a good picture of a good life that God meant us to enjoy. Changing this can be a hard task to accomplish, but definitely attainable if the process is collaborative, scientifically informed, and continuing. Given this context, the Roman Catholic Archbishop of Manila Educational System, Arkham ES Cluster 8, led by the Director, Father Elpidio D. Biliran Jr., and the Assistant Director, Father Solomon Hardinero, in late 2018, gathered the prime movers of the Cluster 8's professional learning community to develop a value-centered curriculum map that integrates climate change awareness and Laudato Si principles vertically articulated in all subjects of the pre-K to 12 levels, conscious of the mission of forming the child of God. The undertaking, though challenging, turned out to be a lively discourse on how to make sense of the array of core values espoused by the DepEd, NCEA, PCSS, CEAP, GIPG, MAPSA, and the Arkham ES in the context of climate change awareness mitigation and Pope Francis's call to all of humanity to take care of our common home, his Laudato Si encyclical. The core values, attributes of a child of God re-articulation conversations were characterized by deep reflection and insight-making among the members of the Arkham ES Cluster 8 academic team. It was a process grounded on the philosophical, legal, and theoretical perspectives of the basic education curriculum. The DepEd core values of makatao, makabansa, makakalikasan, and makadiyos were aligned with that of MAPSA's integral formation, alliance, leadership, and service, and with that of the Arkham ES schools, excellence in service, solidarity, and love for the poor, which at the level of Cluster 8 were re-articulated as faith, excellence, wisdom, character, integrity, competence, service, and compassion. The output of the re-articulation and realignment collaborative process was a visual of the Cluster 8 Climate Change Curriculum Integration Map with a mandala of core values and attributes of the child of God. As shown in this visual, the integration process, which goes from left to right, starts with a vertical articulation of lessons on climate change awareness and the principles of Laudato Si, consciously considering religion as the core of the curriculum, embodied in the core values attributes mandala, without being negligent of enabling students to understand and appreciate the theoretical requirements of a subject and age-appropriate teaching learning approaches. Intended learning outcomes are the predefined attributes, as in the core values attributes mandala, that students acquire after going through the learning experience. At the extreme right end of the map previously shown is how the quality of learning and the depth of personal meaning that students give their transformational experiences are being assessed against performance measures that are project-based, age-appropriate advocacies for justice, ecological integrity, engaged citizenship, poverty alleviation, gender equality, and youth empowerment, or the GIPG. The methodological process of curriculum integration was personally experienced by all teachers of Arkham ES Cluster 8 schools with the able facilitation of Dr. Elias Sampa and Mr. David Esteban of the Australian International School in Manila. The Arkham ES Cluster 8 leadership, in seeing how the curriculum integration process worked well with the teachers and administrators of Malate Catholic School, Santa Clara Parish School, and Ermita Catholic School, put to task the regeneration of the curriculum integration technology experience among teachers and administrators of MAPSA member schools. Thus, in a memo dated February 18, 2019, signed by Reverend Father Dr. Nolan Kea, PhD, the chair of the MAPSA Commission for Curriculum and Instruction, duly endorsed by the then MAPSA President, His Eminence Luis Antonio G. Cardinal Tagle. The MAPSA, as well as CEAP member schools, were encouraged to send delegates to the Climate Change Curriculum Integration Seminar Workshop conducted on April 24 to 26, 2019, entitled The Tipping Point on Rivers, Living Out Learning Plans Within and Beyond Pre-K to 12 Classrooms in Asia. The Climate Change and Laudato Si Curriculum Integration Framework, as tested by the teachers and administrators of ARCAM Cluster 8, was adopted as the methodological framework of the Tipping Point on Rivers seminar workshop. The 3-day curriculum integration seminar workshop was of 3 parts. Part 1 on day 1 had a theme, the call and response for ecological conversion, with session topics like Philippine education in context, Asia and the world, Laudato Si and religion as the core of the curriculum as a philosophical perspective of climate change mitigation, legal foundation of climate change curriculum integration, a showcase of a national policy, the 4 pillars of gross national happiness of the democratic government of Bhutan, a showcase of the Philippine College of Physicians advocacies on environmental protection as key to responding to people's right to health, a lecture on the impact of transformational versus transactional managers of climate change mitigation on families and communities, culture mapping as a way of life, of protecting and preserving nature and cultural assets, music and basic education learning, social capital as a resource investment in caring for our common home, and the profiling of stewards of creation among the participants. Part 2 on day 2 was the climate change and Laudato Si curriculum integration process, a hands-on experience. Workshop groups were formed based on subject area interests of participants. The workshops were facilitated by seasoned basic education learning managers and practitioners from the Australian International School of Manila. Part 3 on day 3 was commissioning, the formation of a mission-driven critical mass of stewards of God's creation, and send-off of participants to regenerate their learning experiences during the 3 days in their classrooms and beyond. Where it was attended by at least 100 teachers and administrators of MAPSA and CEAP schools, we prayed, and we are still praying, that the 100 participants who completed the seminar workshop in 2019 can replicate the experience in their respective schools so that in terms of quality and number, we can form a mission-driven, transformational critical mass of stewards of God's creation who can restore within their respective spheres of influence the natural ecology and human relationships back to the way as intended in God's perfect form by year 2027, as envisioned by Pope Francis in his 7-year global multidisciplinary Laudato Si rollout map. May God bless us all.